Hello, coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And this is kind of a funny image, isn't it? These are obviously coins from the United Kingdom. We can see down in the lower right, we see the 2 penny coin or 2 pence coin. We see the 5 pence coin in the middle. We see the pound coin. We see this kind of funny coin in the center. It says, "Faith and truth will bear unto you, 1953-1993. So that's like a 40th anniversary of the Queen taking the throne coronation coin. Then over here we have a 50-cent coin, but that's not even from 1993. That's a 1997. If we look at them, wait a second, that one down there, the 5 pence is from 92. This is supposed to be a coin from 1993. There's a 1992 up there. The 10 pence. So what's going on here? Well, what's going on here, of course, is that the United Kingdom does not always introduce coins every year. And so we kind of get used to in the United States and some of the countries, coins coming out every year in every denomination. And that does not happen in the United Kingdom, and that's what we've got here. So in order to show the 1993 coins, we actually have to go to the mint or proof sets, because some of them only came in the mint or proof sets. So let's start. Well, actually, let's start right here with the pound coin. Let's take a look at it. So this is really an interesting coin here. This one on the top, as you can see, is a circulated coin. It has Queen Elizabeth II on the front. Let me get out my Bungle Collects Coins pointer or swizzle stick. And nice colors, huh? And if we maximize this a little bit, we'll see that it says Elizabeth II, DG Reg FD 1993, and we can see that it is a kind of a funny colored coin. That's because it's a nickel brass. It has a beaded exterior rim that goes around here, and it says on this side, it says DG Reg FD 1993. By the grace of God, Queen and Defender of the Faith, Regina, or Queen and Defender of the Faith, 1993. And then up here we see a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, the so-called third portrait, where she's wearing the George IV state diadem. And this is a Raphael David Makhlouf portrait. And if we tip it way up and look right underneath the neck, we may be able to see the bare outlines of initials RDM down here. We tip it up on its edge, and we see that it says Dacus et Tutamen. And there's another, this cross here. And we see that it's a reeded or milled rim. So this is a saying from the royal family, and it means an ornament and a safeguard. And this kind of edge is called a milled rim, or milled rim with incuse legend. In other words, they've cut the actual words right into it. And if we flip it over, what we saw down below, that's the proof coin, and you can tell the difference there. If we go down below, we see that it is the royal arms of England or the United Kingdom. And when we go down into it, we see that there are a lion standing, a rampant, and a unicorn. And this particular coat of arms has of course, the crowned knight's headgear here. Over here we see the different portions, the 4 different portions of the English shield, and in on it are the England, the Northern Ireland, and of course way up here, can we see them? It would be Scotland on this particular one. If you go way up here, you see a crowned lion at the top, and way down here we see that it says something. Hard to read right now, but when it originally came out, it said, "Oni soit qui mal y pense, Dieu et mon droit." Shame on he who thinks evil of it, God and my right. So that's kind of a hoity-toity kind of saying as it goes across and down through here. Now, we also see the English rose and the Scottish thistle down here, and we see the chained unicorn. See how the chain goes all the way through the unicorn and the fancy tail on the unicorn. Now, these coins, I said, were nickel brass, and there were many, many, many of these that were counterfeited, and so that's when they went to the bimetallic from these. What did it look like before it came out? Oh my goodness. Well, this is the pound coin from 1993, and look at that. That is just amazing. And if you look at it and tip it up, you see that we can definitely see the Raphael David McCloof here now, RDM, underneath the neck, and we can see how fine this necklace is. The earring, of course, the Henry IV state diadem or crown on the top, and when we look at this, we can actually see the English rose here, and we can see the royal cross here, and you see this kind of cross also on some of those 50 pence coins regarding the war. Just a beautiful portrait that Raphael David McCloof did. Now, if we might as well look at the back and move some of those other coins out of the way, right? If we look at the back of this coin, we see that additionally, and now we can actually read the words that are on the back. And so down here we see Dieu est mon droit, or God in my right. And then over here we see the Oni soit mal y pense, and some of that is kind of underneath the crowned knight's helmet here. We see the flowery stuff coming out. We can really see the Northern Ireland harp on this one, and we can see that this is actually kind of like a belt-like thing, and the belt is buckled. You would never ever guess any of that really by looking at this used one. You can't tell as a buckle, you can't tell as a belt, you can't tell what the words say. So these got worn out, they got counterfeited, and they finally replaced them. So what's next after the pound? Well, let's go down to the 50. And this is where we start getting weird again. So this is a 1997 50 pence coin. Why am I showing you the 1997 50 pence coin? Well, the reason I'm showing you the 1997 50 pence coin is because they did not make any between after 1985 until 1987. So 1986 they didn't make them, 1987 they didn't make them, 1988, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96. They didn't make any 50 pence coins except in the proof or brilliant uncirculated sets. So this is the 50p from 1993, and again, the only reason we have it is not because it never came out in circulation. We have it because it was in the set. It says 50 across the top, pence here. Notice there's no new one here. There was never any 50 new pence. The 50 pence came out after they took the new off. So this is Britannia holding an olive branch and a trident with a lion at her feet and the Union Jack shield here. You can see her toes in the good ones. This is just amazing. You can see her toes, you can see the lion's feet, you can see the lion's jaw and teeth. So when you get a really high quality 50p, it looks quite different from the circulated 50p. And this, of course, I said is 1997 because they didn't make them. And you notice that you just can't even compare them really, other than to say that the ones in the Brilliant Uncirculated are brilliant, and they're uncirculated and they're beautiful coins. Next up is the 20p. And fortunately for us, they did produce 20p coins in 1993, and here's one of them. Now, the 20 pence coin is a kind of odd shaped, it's called an equilateral curved heptagon, or a seven-sided coin. It is, again, the third portrait to Raphael David McCloof. You can maybe see a little bit of the RDM in there. If you go way down deep here, you can see a little bit of the RDM. This is interesting here because this actually looks like another coin struck against it. We see these all the time in the United States, but in this one it shouldn't have happened this way. So this isn't from a quarter or a nickel or a reeded rim striking it, because these are only produced themselves. So sometime afterwards, another coin got jammed pretty hard up against that. Maybe in some kind of somebody's pocket or somebody's package. It says Elizabeth II, DG Reg FD, same as the other one. We notice that this is inset a little bit. Again, the Henry the IV state diadem. And then we get to the back and it says 20 and pence, 19 separated by the crowned Tudor rose, 93. And then down here we have a 20. Now this is one of my favorite of the coins. It's a William Maving Gardner, and you can tell that because there's a W here for William and a G here for Gardner. So this is a William Maving Gardner engraving. And this is a copper nickel coin also. And in 1993, they made a lot of these, 123 million of these. So this is the year, you'll find a lot of 1993s because they made so many. What did it look like before it was circulated? Well, these are shined up a little bit when you get them in a Brilliant Uncirculated, but again, we got these coins that just pop off the screen, don't they? And see how this is kind of it's inset. So it's inset when it's inside, and it's raised when it's outside. So it's not in cues, but then the leaves go through. And this is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant design. Again, the fleur-de-lis and the cross is up here on the crown, and the cross on top, and the kind of jeweled upper part of the cross, the jeweled lower part of the upper part of the crown, and the jeweled lower part of the crown. These are different jewels in the crown. 20 pence. And so what comes next after the 20 pence? Well, there should be a 10 pence. And here is the 10 pence. And I'll move this over just a little bit to show it to you. Oops, but that one says 1992. What, we got another one that they don't have? Yes, we do. In 1993, they did not produce any 10 pence coins except for Brilliant Uncirculated and proof versions. So in 1993, we don't have any. So we picked the 1992. Why do we pick that one? Because they made 1.4 billion of them. This, and for those of you in the United Kingdom, they made 1.4 million millions of them. In the United States, we call that a billion. Again, it's Elizabeth II. If we flip it over, we see this just really kind of not overdone design at all. It's the standing lion, and the lion is, it's called Passong Gardone, and it's royally crowned. We can see the crown on the top. It says 10 here, pence here, another beaded exterior with a 10 down below. And this is a Christopher Ironside engraving. And Christopher Ironside, of course, is one of the more famous engravings. And we'll see another one of his as we go through this. And then if we look at, oh my God, that is just incredible also. So the Brilliant Uncirculated sets have things that you wouldn't see in a circulated version. They just don't pop out like this. And look at the lion's face and his teeth. You can see a little tiny bit of his tongue there, his tail kind of coming over, this mane, the hair on the chest and the sides, and the way that the paws are set up. So this is the 10 pence coin. And again, in 1993, in the Brilliant Uncirculated sets, they only made 66,000 of these. No, 56,000, I'm sorry. They made 66,000 proof sets, 56,000 BUs, and this is just a shining example of that. What's below a 10 pence? Well, of course, the next thing below a 10 pence is a 5 pence coin, and so let's look down for the 5 pence, way down here. And that's a 1992. Well, what's going on there? No 5 pence in 1993 either? Exactly right. No 5 pence in 1993. So the 5 pence we have, again, is a 1992 coin for the circulated version. And it is a copper nickel coin. And it turns out that the 5 pence has a kind of a weird history. when it first came out, no 5p coins were issued from 1981 until 1987 at all. And that's because they still had shillings from the old British pound sterling. And a shilling translated into 5 pence, so they didn't make any 5 pence for most of the 80s. And then we got into the 90s, and they didn't make them for many of the years in the 90s either. And so what's on the back of the 5 pence? Well, we see this is, of course, the crowned thistle. But let's look straight to the horse's mouth here and look at this particular 5 pence. And we see that it is just, it's a small coin. It's about, the size of a U.S. dime. And it says 5 here, pence here, beaded outer rim, and then you can really see the thistle on this one. So this 5 pence coin only came out in the proof sets also. Well, what about the 2 pence? Well, the 2 pence came out in both the circulating and the it was both circulated and came out in mint sets in 1993. They made 235 million of them, regular ones. And then this proof set one, again in 1993, they made 56,000 of them. So this is it. And you notice that it is ostrich feathers going through a crown. And on one side of the crown it says "Ich," sorry, and this says "Dean," I serve. So that's the 1993. Excuse me. Next up is the 1993 penny. Now, do we have one of those? We do. Look at the difference in color of the penny. Well, between the circulated and the Brilliant Uncirculated. I'm going to get a drink of tea. Wait 1 sec. Oh, that's great. I'm actually drinking Irish breakfast tea, so hopefully that's not an insult to anybody. But my English breakfast tea, I had it earlier in the day, so I switched to Irish breakfast. This is in 1993. Again, the Raphael David McClure portrait. Again, the Elizabeth II. We tip it up, we see that this is a different material. It's a copper-plated steel. So remember, these 1993s are actually magnetic. So here's the 1 penny, 1993 with the crown portcullis. And here is the Brilliant Uncirculated version with the chains coming down. This now, of course, is the symbol of the Houses of Parliament and the beaded outer rim. Well, how many pennies did they make in 1993? Well, they made 603 million. And then they made, of course, 56,000 of the Brilliant Uncirculated sets. So that's all we have. We have all these different coins. Let's put some of them back together. And, of course, show them with the other ones. And then some people are very interested in this one in the middle. And this is a 5 pounds coin, only in the Brilliant Uncirculated and proof sets. It's not for circulation. It's worth a little bit, but the collectors really don't collect these as much as they could. So in some cases, you wouldn't even get 5 pounds if you tried to sell this. So it's nice, it's good, and it does commemorate the 40th anniversary of the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, but it's not really a sought-after coin. All right, that's all we have from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.